All right, let's get shit started. It is 10:54. I'm getting ready to go and start streaming over on Discord. Hey there, YouTube people. Those of you who are seeing this before any of this actually gets started on the stream. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that bullshit. You jump into the voice chat, hit screen share, and I'm going to scroll on down, grab the windowed projector. Where the hell is it? There it is. Okay, go live. There we go. Shaka boom. And that's in place. There we go. Okay. So, I put on my, the little glove thing because that's important. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing today. I haven't really been, I've been thinking a lot about what I was going to do for the stream today, so I'm just going to kind of fuck around and draw some stuff, and we're going to see what comes out. We're still working on the... You know what? Let's talk a little bit about... talk a little bit about drawing chibis. Which is just kind of a simplification. Let's draw a tiny little character with a really big head. And all of this is just massively oversimplified, and it doesn't really matter if you do a good job because it's supposed to be cartoony, it's supposed to be simple. And what's really important about drawing chibi-style characters is you want to get an appropriate gesture drawing in. So essentially, you want your chibi to be doing something and just kind of being expressive. I'm just going to kind of rough this in. I'm doing a shit job today, but well, yeah, I'm just kind of roughing stuff in and just kind of getting that initial shape in. And all you're looking for when you're doing these kinds of things is you want to get your basic gesture to read. Like if your chibi is running, you want the chibi to look like they're running, and you want to look like they're happy when they're happy, and sad when they're sad, and excited when they're excited. And I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing right now. I'm still in this whole process of when it comes to creating anything, whether it's art or a YouTube channel or anything at all, the best thing you can do is good work. And the second best thing you can do is bad work. And the worst thing you can do is no work. So I am trying to avoid doing the worst thing that I can do. Now, I'm still in the second best phase. I'm certainly not in the do good work phase. But I'm in the do something phase. I mean, I'm not doing great work. I know I'm not doing great work, but Doing something is better than doing nothing. Let's get a narrower neck in there. And just kind of get that sort of bust of the head. I do a lot of this. I do a lot of drawing heads. I do a lot of drawing faces. Pardon me while I have some kind of minor existential crisis here, just kind of pissing and moaning about. I don't feel like I'm getting where I want to go. I am making progress. I see myself getting closer to where I want to go, but I'm not there yet, and I'm frustrated. And I want to be there, and I want to get to that space where I can do all the stuff that I want to do, and not be working on basic shit like how do you draw a fucking mouth. I want to do something more interesting than drawing hair. I'm tired of working on stuff. I'm tired of working on just stuff, not doing anything that I want done, but just working on stuff. And I have a project to work on. I have Groping Festival, which, is not quite done. But like 90% of what it's missing is artwork and assets. So it's like there's not a lot of code that needs to be written for it. There's not a lot of architecture that needs to be redone or reworked or anything like that. It just needs to be that's where's the free transform? This isn't convert layer and edit transform Control Shift T. That's what I want. Okay, so I want this to be a little bit wider. I want to shift it that way a bit, and that is a better look right there. Never underestimate the value of free transform. It's that actually took a head that was not in very good shape and turn it into something that was at least marginally proportionate. I've been experimenting with using the side of my middle finger to push the button on my pen. I don't like it. Let's put that to the side a little bit. And we've got, we pull that to the side, then we've got to foreshorten. This gets longer, that gets shorter. And of course the face comes farther out like so. That's not great. I have a few things I want to do. I need to do gem icons for Groping Festival, because we're going to need that for the premium currency and all of that sort of thing. And there needs to be there's a sack full of currency, and there's a purse full of currency. So I've got to do both of those, and then of course there has to be the chest full of currency. That needs to be a thing too. And I need to figure out how I'm going to do all of those. I need to draw all of those little assets, and those need to go into the game. And I need to, the thing I've really been putting off is, I have like 80 particle systems that need to be added in. And I don't want to. It's really obnoxious. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is how can I automate this? How can I say, oh, there's a particle system over here, and we're just going to tack that onto this part of the game over in this area. And I've been trying to think about how can I parameterize that, so I can say, okay, here's the image that the particle system needs to throw out there, and there's where it needs to sit. And whenever you click that thing, then the particle system throws stuff off in that direction. And I want to parameterize it and put all of that together. And that's not difficult. It's just like, it's work. And then on top of that, I've got the Minecraft stuff that I've been doing. I've been doing all kinds of Minecraft videos. And on top of that, Grand Theft Auto Online has just dropped a big new DLC update. And that's a lot of fun, and I haven't had time to play it because, I've done a little. I've picked up the agency, and I've upgraded it, and I still don't have any of the new weapons or any of the new cars. Just haven't gotten to that yet. And I don't know, should I be putting that onto the channel? Is that something that I want to add in? Do I want to have more GTA Online gameplay? And I don't know, maybe. I think I want to focus on Minecraft right now in terms of the channel. I think I want just Minecraft content. With just Minecraft content, I only have to track that one game and what's going on with that, and I don't have to worry too much about other stuff. Also, I'm not really that interesting on GTA Online. Mostly what I do is grind Kaio. That's not a whole lot of good stuff. But I'm going to start thinking more in terms of I'm going to start thinking more in terms of how to draw more interesting things. And get like more specific results. Like I've been working on trying to draw more weird, creepy shit. Because I will need to draw weird, creepy shit at some point. And there's kind of there's a pattern to how weird, creepy shit is drawn. You have this sort of wide, round, staring eye thing that goes on. You also have this sort of shadow coming out of the eye sockets thing. You just sort of circle around over and over, and then you do the so you have this sort of creepy aspect going on with the face. And I've been kind of working on that and looking at a lot of Junji Ito manga for inspiration on that front. Ow! Sorry about that. I blast out your eardrums? That actually did hurt. Okay. But I've been wanting to kind of do this sort of... I've been wanting to do some kind of creepy stuff and put that out there, but I'm just not really there yet. I really want to look at Gerald Scarf's stuff to some degree. And sort of channel that aspect of things. There's also a creepy aspect to having eyes of different sizes. Just general features that appear skewed. But that's a thing that I can't really do properly just yet. It ends up looking goofy more than scary most of the time. There is, of course, the wide smile. It gives you that kind of yandere vibe. And creepy stuff is a thing that I've been kind of thinking more and more about lately, because it's sort of the direction that I want to go after Groping Festival. The code for Groping Festival is like more or less done. It's just a question of grunt work, and I don't wanna, because it's boring. I had a bunch of problems to solve in the game that were interesting, and I like solving interesting problems. That's why I write code in the first place. And now I don't actually have any problems in the game. There's just stuff that's not done. So I have to do stuff that isn't done yet, and I know how to do it, and I know what it's going to look like. There's no, I have a question sort of thing going on. It's just stuff that needs to get done. And I am running out of space on this. So I am just going to... save it, and create a new one. And, what am I going to do on this? I haven't been doing the stuff that I need to be doing, which is I'm supposed to be going through the sketch process and really kind of, and if you see in the sketching that I was doing just a minute ago, I was just like jumping directly to the end of the process, and that's exactly what I need to get away from that. I need to do actual construction and have the rough sketch and have it actually become a final piece rather than trying to do the final piece immediately out of the gate. And that's a thing that I have known for a while that I need to do. And for some stupid reason, I am just not doing it. I really need to start on that sketch layer and go, here's where the head is going to be, right here. There's the chin and there's the jawline right there. And this is going to be an anime girl, so when we jump into our composition, we want to exaggerate kind of the smoothness there, and we want to give her a nice rounded face, and then we'll put the eye in here, and we'll put another eye over here, and the eyebrows. We'll put a happy little smile on her face. And there's no need to do much of anything beyond like the silhouette of the hair in the composition. And just kind of identify there's the ear. And then from this, see, I should be able to just kind of like refine and move forward. And eventually when I get to the line art, I can go, okay, there's that. And I can take the composition and I can lower the opacity, same with the sketch. And I can take that and I can go, let me scroll in on that and kind of refine it. Smooth that in. And while line quality is certainly important in any piece, I'm not working at an appropriate level of skill to be concerned about how my line quality is right now. I mean, line quality is certainly a thing that matters. Here's where the nose would come down. And we'll raise that chin up a bit, because here is the side of the face. Here's the cheekbone, and you want okay, let me pull that off and we'll redo that particular line. And we'll just kind of cute up that face a little bit. Now we can drag this down. Put that in composition actually, because need to do hair on top of this. So the hair is going to come out. Here's kind of the hairline. We're going to do sort of a leaf shape here and another one here. And then here's going to be our typical, just a bit of the hime cut there. It's just going to come down a bit over the ear. The ear is going to actually be right in here. And that'll be there. And this kind of hang down over the eye a bit. And then it'll sit up, not too high over the head. But that's going to come in here. This is kind of the direction that the hair is coming out. And if we switch over here to the line art again, we can now clean that up. We'll come up from underneath here. Put that up front, and that'll sit up over top of the ear. And then here, this will we'll have a bit of hair sticking down over here and a bit more over here. And then we've got some hair here and some hair here. It's going to hang down a little over the eye, and then that's going to come up like so. Clean that up a little bit. And if we turn off the sketch and composition layers, we end up with a much better result than usual. But that's crapping. That's a tangent right there. So bring that in there, and let's poke the tip of it out right over here. So we end up with a much better result. I need to get used to doing that, and that's not something that I'm currently used to doing, but it is something that I need to get used to doing because it improves the results. It's the whole that there's a line that that Lisa Kudrow said as Phoebe Buffay in the very first episode of the television series Friends. She was invited to help somebody move, and she said, "Oh, I wish I could, but I don't want to." And that's like 90% of human motivation right there. It's just, I wish I could, but I don't want to. And if you don't want to, then you don't wish you could, you know? It's just, it's kind of where I sit with it is kind of, I wish I wanted to. I wish that, I wish the process of constructing a picture was fun for me. And it's not. And I don't know why it's not. And I don't know how to make it fun for me. I think that's what stands in the way of like 90% of people. I'm saying 90% a lot. It's probably closer to 97% anyway. I think the vast majority of people, the reason they never do much of anything is they've never found a way to make it an enjoyable process. They've never found a process to... they've never found a way to get everything... Man, that is really good. That's why I need to force myself into that. That is so much better than what I typically do. And if I just go from the sketch through the composition to the final phase, then I can get better results. I can get results like this. And I need to teach myself that it's worth doing, that I need to keep doing this, that it's something that matters. I think that's what I think that's what people have trouble with in terms of motivation, is that they go to do something and they do not enjoy the sketch process. They do not enjoy the composition process. They do not enjoy the line art process. And then when they look at the end result, it doesn't look any better than when they just didn't do any of that shit. And you have to, it's like Ira Glass said, the only way to do good work is to do a quantity of bad work. And it's a much larger quantity of bad work than you think it is. So getting frustrated at your work and saying, oh, my work is bad, I need to stop. It's very important to say, no, I need to keep going. It's because your work is bad that you need to keep going. When your work is good, then you can stop. Then you can decide whether this is something that you want to stop doing or not. But until your work is good, you're not qualified to say whether you should stop, really. It's not something that you have the skills or the talent or the ability to talk about doing. So it's like when you do stuff like this, when you're trying to learn anything, when you're trying to improve anything, you're trying to improve any kind of skill. And the single most important thing that you can do is continue working on improving the skill until you actually improve it. If you're not improving the skill, then you're doing the wrong thing. You're not actually practicing it. It's like there's something that we used to say in the workout community. If your clothes aren't tighter at the end of the week, your workout doesn't work. You need to do something else. And that's true for like so many things that if you're not getting the results you want, you need to keep going. You need to keep trying, or you will never get those results. Like here, I'm trying to think about the whole three-dimensional structure of the skull and not just like the lines that I'm supposed to draw. Like the entire form of it, which I don't frequently think about. It's certainly and I'm trying to think more in terms of planes, more in terms of like where the angles are, because on the jawbone has a thickness, it has a width. And it's a rounded width, but it's still a width. It has structure to it. It's not just like a line. It's a three-dimensional form, and I need to think more about that sort of thing. I need to think more about where the planes of the face are, even though I'm not really drawing them here. Everything here is very kind of everything on this particular face here everything everything on this face here is very kind of indistinct, but we've got on this level, let me switch to some kind of color that makes sense. Here we've got the shape of the ear. And, excuse me, had to sneeze. But here we've got there's a curve to the eyeball. And that curve increases as you get towards the bottom because we're kind of looking down on this. So we've got this curve to the eyeball there, and we've got right here, even though we can't really see it, there's a contour that goes around the face. I'm not emphasizing that contour in the way that this is drawn, but those curves are there. You've got a curve to the cheek here. Okay, there's a curve to the cheekbone underneath of the eye. There's a curve to the eye socket. Right here's the bridge of the nose. And all of these things exist in three-dimensional space, even though we're not representing it, even though we're kind of hand-waving most of it, you know? And there's kind of this circle of the chin. And there's the curve of the jawline, and you've got the curve of the cheek here. And there are all of these shapes and all of these directional lines and all of these ways that the face is formed because it has to be formed that way. There have to be these lines and these concepts. And here's the edge of the nose, even though we haven't drawn it. There's all kinds of stuff that we're not seeing and that we're not drawing, but even though it's not there, you have to think about it. You have to think about it being there because that's an important aspect of getting it to look even halfway decent. I need to clean my screen. I always need to clean my screen. I should do that before I even start the stream, because I always need to do it. I had to do it last time. I'm constantly needing to dry this screen. Make sure it's nice and clean. You see, look at that dirt. And that's just from sitting around. That's just from not doing anything. But working from that standpoint, working from that beginning place of just like from that beginning place of just like doing the sketch and doing the composition, just doing that to start with has created a much better result, and I need to get used to doing that. That's a very important aspect of making these improvements, and I cannot make those improvements without doing that kind of work and kind of backing up and doing all of the core underlying work. And I need to get more of that work together. I start thinking more about finished pieces and not just drawing and seeing what comes out. I have all of these issues. They're still the same issues that they're not all the same issues. Some of the issues that I had when I first started this have in fact gone away. I'm much more confident with eyes. I'm much more confident with expressions. I'm much more confident with drawing anime faces and anime bodies and that sort of stuff. I'm much more capable and confident there, but I still feel like the problems I wanted to work on when I came in remain problems. They remain things that I haven't really improved on. They remain issues. And really it can be divided into, you can divide the problems into two different problems. You have the technical problems and you have the procedural problems. And the technical problems are going away, but the procedural problems aren't, because I'm not following the procedure, and that's important. I need to do that, and I'm not doing that. I need to do more of that. That's it's kind of frustrating. And that's sort of, you have technicality. There are technical problems of different levels, like there's the question of line quality and filling stuff in, and how to do shading, and how to manage lighting, and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm still working on getting my black and white stuff to look good. I'm not very good at color. I need to put more time into color, but I need to have a solid foundation in black and white first, and I can start worrying about things that relate to. It's like solving problems you don't have yet is a good way to waste your time. I mean, honestly, premature optimization is the root of all evil. If you're working on a software program and you say, okay, I'm going to sort these numbers. Now I'm going to make sure that I do a highly optimized sort routine. Well, how many numbers are you sorting? Oh, 200. Yeah, optimizing your sort routine is something that you do when you have millions of numbers to sort. If you have millions of things to sort, then yeah, optimizing your sort routine matters. That's going to save minutes of time. But optimizing your sort routine on 200 items, you're going to save like a millisecond at best. It's not worth it. Your big O notation might look good and you might feel good about your implementation, but at that scale, it just doesn't matter, and it's a waste of time. It really is. Make it work, then make it work better. And what to make work better starts with what's not actually working. And that's kind of where I am, is I'm trying to get what's not working to work. I'm trying to mute the mic when I sneeze and blow my nose, because I know that's gross and a lot of people don't want to hear it. So, yeah, that's a thing that I'm trying to do more of. Got our contours here. Thinking about the direction that everything curves. Where the planes are. Which direction everything is going. Thinking in those terms and just kind of having this notion of where all of which direction planes are moving and which direction things are curved, and then that will inform, once you go, okay, well, the light's coming from over here, then the light is hitting here is the specular highlight, and then back here all of this is going to be in shadow. And this is going to be dark, and that's going to be dark, and it's going to be very dark in there. And you're going to have highlights here and a highlight here. Going to be light here, kind of shadowed here, a little bit of light up on this part. If you think about which direction everything's going, then you can think about the light. But I'm not worried about the light just yet. I'm just kind of trying to get used to the question of thinking about everything in 3 dimensions. Always think about it in 3 dimensions. It's not lines. You're not drawing lines. You're drawing lines that represent a 3-dimensional figure. And that 3-dimensional figure obviously has shape, and it has volume, and it has directionality to all of the surfaces. And that's an important thing to bear in mind. But it's something that I'm just like thinking about in terms of, I know what the shape is, and I'm trying to draw the lines to put that shape into the image. But I want to draw minimal lines. That's really that's at the root of the anime and manga style, is to draw a sort of minimalistic set of lines. And you leave out a lot of detail, and that's kind of the hard part of doing this sort of stuff, is to leave out just the right amount of detail. You don't want to leave out too much detail, but you do have to leave out some. Let's pull that. It's just like at some point I'm going to have to start getting used to using vector layers. That's going to be important. But I am not there yet. And because I'm not there yet, I don't invest a lot of time in that. I'm going to have to worry about all of these various parameters on the brush settings, because these get really complicated, and I need to think about the parameters on pens, how pens and markers and pencils and pastels and the various types of brushes, watercolor, realistic, thick paint, India ink. I need to really seriously think about what the differences in those are, but that's a question of getting used to the tools. It's not a question of technique. So I've selected tools that kind of sort of work. I got this massive toolbox, but I could fuck around in that toolbox for weeks and not learn anything. I'd have all kinds of fun because I'm using all kinds of new stuff and I'm trying all kinds of things, but I'm not really going to learn much of anything doing that. If I want to learn anything, I have to settle on, I'm going to use this tool. I'm going to use this tool unless it turns out to be the wrong tool, and then I'm going to switch to the right tool. And it's exactly the same as anything else you work with. You start with the tools you have. You worry about getting the right tools later. It's like when I first started trying to draw, I got that list of stuff that you need from How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, and I made sure to get all of that stuff. But it's not necessary. I mean, really, all you need is an inexpensive pencil and some paper. If you have a pencil and paper, you're fine. You're going to be okay, you know. But everybody always acts like you need every last little thing. Like you need a whole bunch of different options and different opportunities, but you don't. You need a few basic things. You need your paper. Like I've got my paper right here, and you need your pen. I got my pen right here, and these are what I have. that's all I really need, is to work with just the one pen that I'm working with. And really what I'm working with is a brush. It's a brush with India ink, and I'm not really investing a lot of effort in trying to figure out how to use different kinds of brushes. And I could waste a lot of time on that, and I did spend some time on it, and it was great fun, and I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't making things any better. It's like right here, we've got this sort of dark bleed thing is going on, then we've got lighter ink. And that just sort of, you draw, and then you have to draw over it over and over again. I don't like that. It's like you're running out of ink. And you've got all of this stuff that is kind of, it's kind of neat. You've got this smooth right here. Smooth is probably like right around the, it's probably right around where I want a brush to act. But I've been using Bit Husky because this behaves like a brush, like I think a brush should behave. And then we've got smooth and rough. This one's rough. This one's smooth. This one's smooth right here. And what I really want to do is I want to be able to manage my line quality. I want to be able to manage pressure and get kind of a very narrow line, but then just kind of spread it out. So I want to be able to get a nice narrow line, but still expand it when I want it to be expanded. And a lot of that is technique. And this is what I'm trying to work on with Bit Husky, is to kind of get my pressure game working well. It's like I can jack it down right here, and I've got this nice line quality. I've got this good taper at the end. I like that taper on both ends. And that's what I'm kind of working on with it. And if I go over here and I work with, say, it would be a good example. If I go over to the pen, fuck, I've lost track of where everything is. If I go over to the pen and I go with the G pen, okay, I still have that taper, but it doesn't work quite the same. You can see that the taper at the beginning is almost always, it's got this kind of blunt aspect to it. It's really hard to manage that, and I don't like that. So I've been working with the brush and with Bit Husky. This feels good. This is the kind of thing that I can work with right now. It's not important at this point that I have really detailed control. I just need a certain amount. And once I have the amount of control that I need to kind of get the effects that I'm looking for, that's good enough. I like that pen. And similarly, you know, I used to when I work in traditional media. Hold on here. What the hell? But when I work on just on paper, I have a Stettler mechanical right here, and you can see it's connected with a string to my to my desk so I don't lose it. Because I drop things a lot. I'm really bad about that. Which is why I'm really glad I have that pen holder on the side of the tablet. I don't know, I'm kind of having a crisis over here at the moment. With regard to my art, I don't feel like my art is going well. I mean, it is. Because just like, I mean, look at that. That's not bad. That's pretty good, you know? But kind of, I want it to be going faster. I want it to be doing better. And I'm frustrated and I'm annoyed. And it's the holiday season and people won't leave me alone. And I got to do shit all the time. I got to talk to people all the time. And I got to pretend to be happy. And it's fucking annoying. And people are always playing all those damn songs. And I don't like them. I've never liked them. And they're in all the commercials. They're in all of the ads. And I just get so goddamn tired of them. It's just another week or two, though. In 2 weeks, we'll hit the new year. And in the new year, I'll be... in the new year, I won't have to deal with all of that crap, and everything will improve dramatically. I've been on YouTube 15 years. I uploaded my first video to YouTube on November 21st, 2006. And I've rebooted the channel a couple of times. I started off doing kind of a pointless vlog thing, where there's like no purpose to it whatsoever, and then around 5 years into doing that, where it was just kind of spotty and sporadic, I switched over to being very business and marketing and sales focused, and after about 5 years of that, I went, I hate this. I hate what I'm doing. So I just kind of refocused everything, and now like this is the new thing, and I'm starting over after like doing the wrong thing for 10 years, and so it's frustrating starting over when you've been doing something for 10 years, because you feel like you've been doing this 10 years, you've paid your dues, but it's not how long you've been doing it that matters. It's how good you've gotten at doing it. It doesn't matter how much experience you have being shitty at something. It matters how much experience you have being good at it. Pardon me while I blow my nose. And with the art, I don't have any experience being good at it. So I'm kind of sitting down at the bottom tier. I'm on the bottom rung of the ladder here. And that's very frustrating. And you turn around and you do software development. I've been good at software development for 30 years. So it's kind of hard to turn around and like not be good at anything. Now I've been good at sales and marketing and stuff for like 15, 20 years. I mean, I've got my Philip Kotler textbook right over here. Don't really need it anymore. There's all of this stuff that I've been doing for a long time, and I'm good at it, and I know I'm good at it, and then it's not what I want to do, so I started doing something I'm not good at, which I have mixed feelings about, because on the one hand, I really wish I was good at stuff again, but then on the other hand, it's much easier to see improvement, and that if you're not good at something, it's much easier to become better at it, and that's motivating. I don't know. I'm being ridiculous at this point. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream and toss this up on YouTube. And I don't know if anybody gives a shit. I don't know if anybody watches these. I don't know if anybody matters, but that's okay, because the people who matter will show up eventually, and they'll stick around until I'm actually decent enough at something that I'm worth watching. You have to do a quantity of bad work before you can do good work. Best thing you can do is good work. The second best thing you can do is bad work, and the worst thing you can do is nothing. I'm still in that second best stage. I'm still doing bad work, but we all have to. And I think it's important for people to see that, yeah, I did bad work. I did a lot of bad work. If all you ever see is when I get good at the work and I can do good work, if the good work is all you ever see, then you get this flawed perception of what it is and how it works. See that from a lot of people, a lot of instructors, a lot of coaches. They'll sit there and they'll go, doing this thing is easy. All you have to do is this, this, and this. And they don't really advertise that in order for those three things they did to work, you have to throw $50,000 at the problem. Because if you don't have the $50,000 to throw at the problem, you can't do those three things on an appropriate scale. It's like somebody will say, all you have to do is build a website and put the product on it and send out some email letters. It's like, yeah, but you hired a guy for $12,000 to build your website, and you hired another guy for $20,000 to build your product. And then you turned around and you sent your email blast out to a list of over 150,000 people that you had gathered over the years. I don't have a list of 150,000 people. I don't have $20,000 to pay somebody to build my product. I don't have $12,000 to pay somebody to build my website. And yeah, you don't have to put that much money in it, but I'm not going to get the same results you got if I don't do the same thing that you did. And when you really dig into how you build that email list of 150,000 people, and you really look at all of the months and years that people with lists like that spent selling nothing and having to get day jobs and going out and trying to convince people to promote their stuff and giving 100% commission on affiliate deals. You sold 3,000 copies. How much did you make? Nothing. It cost me $400 to sell them. You see that sort of thing happen all the time, but nobody ever talks about it. And I think it's the same way with all kinds of stuff, is that you never see the struggle at the beginning. So I'm not happy with this struggle, and I don't think this struggle is fun to watch. I don't think this struggle is entertaining in any way, but I think it's important that it's out here. I think it's important that people see it. So, okay, bye.